welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelsey. I am a graphic designer, brand designer, social strategist, all creative things. I love it. That's what I do for a living. And today I'm going to be making a video all about how to create a brand, or more so, I'll be designing a brand, and I'm going to show you all of the ins and outs and tips and tricks that I know how to do. If you're new here, my full-time job is a brand designer. I work for myself as a business called Willoughby Designs. I also do marketing and social strategies for a few regular businesses as well, but primarily Willoughby Designs' focus is on creating brand design projects. I've been lucky enough to do this for many different clients. I love designing for new brands and revisiting brands and rebranding them, and I love everything to do with designs and working with small businesses and entrepreneurs. Today I thought it would be fun to do an exercise on creating a business for fun. I used to do this all the time in design school. We would create for different topics and for obviously different prompts when it came to projects. Basically now I create when a client comes to me and needs a design solution, but I thought it would be so fun to do something now that it is becoming summer. I am obsessed with ice cream. That has been my favorite food for my whole life, and I just wanted to play a little bit on that. So today I thought we would create a gelato business. This is going to be completely 100% made up. I want to be able to show you the full ins and outs throughout a video series, so this is going to be the first part of it. Basically, we're going to be covering how I do the strategy and then how I do the mood board in this video. I'm hoping that this will help you if you are also looking to become a designer, if you are a small business owner and you need some tips and tricks. I want to give this as a piece of advice and just show how I do it. Every designer is different, so this is just one experience for you to learn from. As always, if you have any comments or you'd like to connect, please feel free to drop down below. I'm always so happy to answer any questions or provide more details on things. You can also message me over on Instagram and I will respond to DMs over there. Or if you get to this video and you want to work together, I am always accepting new clients. So we can hop on a discovery call, and we can do that by you submitting an inquiry form over on my website. That is it, and let's get started with this branding. First up, I want to talk a little bit about branding. When it comes to branding, a lot of people just automatically think of a logo. But initially, there are so many steps you need to do in order to get to that logo. I mean, some people will just design for the logo, but your ultimate goal is to create something that is long-lasting and is hitting your target audiences. Branding is all about creating that strong message, identifying your audience, hitting your target goals, and just developing an overall personality. You want to create a foundation before creating any of the visual elements, because you want to establish that connection you're going to make with your target audience and for solving that problem that they need. A lot of designers will reference a triangle method when it comes to thinking about branding. Basically, within that triangle, the bottom layer is the foundation, which is the strategy. It identifies your audience, your brand goals, your pillar words, your overall future goals, the problems you're solving, a lot of the different areas I've already kind of mentioned before. And then the second middle layer is creating that identity. So that is more so when we're beginning to think about all the different components together that build your brand. Overall, the identity will be what people think and feel about your brand. And then lastly, the tippy top point of the triangle is the visuals. I should say visuals and messaging. The top is when we create all those different brand mark pieces, when we create how you'll be speaking with your audience, and every component within there, and basically everything you see when it comes to your branding. That is a general loose triangle that I do want to talk about. And so overall today, I'll be sharing the different steps within that, and I will be walking you through those within the series I'm creating. Step one is the strategy. We're gonna get into the specifics in the background, of course. I have already written down a few notes on my phone that I'm just gonna reference. Basically, we know I'm gonna do a gelato shop. I want to have a heavy influence of European styles. Obviously, gelato is extremely common in Italy, and it's also kind of common into the coastal area of southern France. I am obsessed with this area. I'm actually traveling to this area this summer. I'm so excited. Basically, I just want to tie in all those relationships that are kind of developed there. And honestly, when you're in those areas, I just assume you want to have gelato all the time. I want to create a vintage feeling with this brand. My general demographic that I'm thinking is young adults. I want it to be romantic. I want it to be a great spot for double dates. I think a lot of areas right now when it comes to ice cream shops and things like that, you think of just like families and little kids running around, which is great. Like, we can still serve them, but the main demographic with this space is thinking to have a cute date night spot that isn't necessarily just going for drinks or going for a long dinner. Just another option for people to have. I know a lot of people that are going on these blind dates or double dates or dates that they meet individuals on an app. They don't necessarily always want to get drinks, or maybe they don't drink. I want this to be another option for them. The location of this is Asheville, North Carolina. I chose this location because of the Biltmore estate. I've never actually been to this area. I've driven through it, but the pictures I've seen are amazing. I think in general it's a little hard to find a huge European-esque spot in the United States, but here this really reminded me of that area. I know it's not on the coast, and I know I'm basing it off of the southern coast of France and the coastal side of Italy, but I think it's still going to be a fun, relevant influence within that area. Now, if you were a client of mine and I were setting this up, I would be doing this initially through our initial call. We would be discussing a lot of these different elements I've just shared to figure out your foundation of your brand and your business. Then from there, I have the client submit a very lengthy questionnaire that gives me much more insights. It helps me get into the head of my client. So today I've decided to pull out some of those key elements. Once they finish their questionnaire, I will initially do this and I'll really summarize it all and digest it so I know a little bit, and I'll look into their competitors, I'll look into brands they're referencing in every area like that. I'm just pulling out some of these key items so I can lay down my thoughts, a lot of the things I've already listed, and just go ahead and continue to reference these for what I will want to be thinking for my audience and my ultimate goals in the future. I'm gonna go ahead and dive into my computer, and we're gonna go and start pulling that information. Jumping into this document, I've just pulled a few things out. So here I just have brand words, I have what it does. So obviously it's a gelato shop. I'm just filling in all of these details. I have meaning behind the name of the gelato shop. I have the colors to use throughout the branding, emotions to evoke, long-term business goals, how did you get into the business, and a few more on the next slide as well. Again, this is just to help get my thoughts organized and for things that I'll remember throughout creating this brand strategy. If this were an actual client, we would be going extremely in depth on each of these clients, or on each of these topics, I should say. But basically, since I am just creating this, I'm trying to think about it as I go. It's really tough to do, and I honestly am in awe of each of my clients that do complete this and fill it out, and it's a lot of work, so I really appreciate it. Over in the next page, we have a little bit more about the audience, so I just like to think about the age, think about the gender, think about the location, and then we have consumer values, we have what the client is looking for or what the consumers are looking for, and problems we'll solve. One brand that I think the audience would also support and be a purchaser of is Merit. I just want to take a moment here and share this brand with you. They were so kind to send me over some of their products, and I am obsessed with their packaging. I think the overall look and feel reminds me of that vintage feeling, that European-esque. It has a bit of romance to it. I love the coloring with it. It gives me a little touch of something moody. All things that I am pairing with this gelato shop. I think they would be a great partner in the sense of a brand relationship. I think this is someone that ideally the clients the consumers would also be purchasing from. So I'm just gonna share a little bit with you today. Basically, Merit sent over this beautiful bag. I cannot tell you how many times I've almost purchased this from them. I am obsessed with this. I am obsessed with the color. It's so gorgeous. I love how it ties into a little knot and then you just like undo it when you want to use it. I'm gonna use this all the time. Honestly, I might use this as a regular bag. And then within it, I have 3 beautiful products. Gorgeous. Like the packaging feels so nice. I love this light blue color. And then I love how it's a gold where the branding is. And it's embossed, of course, so it has beautiful texture, all things that I love. Just overall with their type choices, it's so beautifully done and the detail with it is insane. Basically what I ordered from them is the Brow Perfecting Complexion Stick, and then I got the Signature Lip. Honestly, all these are so gorgeous. I can't wait to show you more on this. Chapter 2, creating the mood board. Now that the foundation is set, I can really digest this, think about it, look it over, and begin to pull things for the mood board. Initially pulling from the mood board, I go to websites like Unsplash. Obviously, they have amazing quality photos. They work with photographers from all over the world that create really high quality work, and it's free for you to use. It is recommended to give credit where credit is due, of course, to these amazing photographers. I also use Pinterest heavily. Again, same situation, to credit where credit is due. Everything that I'm pulling from Pinterest is not my own work. It's just for the inspiration purposes. But let's get into the mood board and I'm gonna start pulling different content to reference. Now we're really getting into the good stuff. So like I mentioned, I'm just hopping onto Unsplash first. I'm doing a few searches that are obviously relevant. So why not start with gelato and ice cream and various topics like that to find pictures that I could use within the mood board. After that, I'll probably start exploring some more general European topics, but again, there's just always so much to filter through. Mood boards can take so much time as you really want to put into them. Next, I'm just looking for more of those coastal line photos. So again, inspired by the Italian coastline and inspired by the southern part of France and just overall the European experience. So I want to get a good handle of examples on that. Next, I just like to go into the textures and patterns element on Unsplash because this can be great to find different reference photos from. Within there, that gave me the idea that I should really search for seashells because that would be a great use of texture. I liked the idea of also introducing a sand component because that color would be beautiful and really perfect for the type of brand we would be creating. Then next up, once I have these categories all completed, I am just going to start breaking them down. So first up, I'm just pulling from all these different brand marks that I gathered and I'm creating them into 3 different categories. When I do normally create these for my clients, I do 3 different options. So this is kind of a force of habit since I'm the one really deciding on these, but it's really fun for me to split these up and make me think about what I really want to work with. Lastly, I'm just splitting up some of the graphics and illustration components and some of the more miscellaneous design elements. From there, I go ahead and put it into a block of categorization, and this is the final outcome that I'm going to move forward with. I love it, and I'm so excited to see how it will input in my design moving forward. And that's a wrap on the strategy and mood board. Next steps, I'll be creating the brand marks, which will be so fun to share. I love doing this step and it will be coming soon in the second part, so stay tuned for that. I so appreciate you watching this video, making it to the end. If you like it, again, please subscribe, like this video, comment any questions or anything you want to share down below. I love interacting with you, so just let me know if you have anything you want to share. And thank you again to Merit Beauty for the new makeup. I'm so excited by it and I'm so obsessed with their overall branding and packaging. But that's a wrap on everything for now, and I will see you in the next video.